Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from every corner of the globe, this is Wrestle Vault, and I'm Salvador, your straight-talking host, bringing you the biggest stories from inside the squared circle. But tonight, oh man, tonight we're not just covering the news, we're unleashing a wave of anger that's going to make your blood run hot. Picture this. CM Punk, the man who calls himself the best in the world, finds a way to hold on to his title right in his hometown of Chicago, while Finn Balor, the Demon King himself, gets completely robbed in what can only be called a true injustice. How could they pull something like this? Was it a setup, a hometown advantage, or is there something even darker going on behind closed doors? If this doesn't make you slam your fist down and demand answers, then maybe wrestling just isn't your thing. Stay with me, because we're going all the way in, uncovering every ugly detail. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll be rushing to the taunts, sharing this with every wrestling fan you know, and calling for a rematch at WrestleMania. Don't even think about leaving. The truth is about to hit harder than a GTS. All right, folks, let's go back and paint the full picture. We're talking about WWE's latest pay-per-view spectacle, Elimination Chamber, broadcast live from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois. The United Center was filled to the very last seat with over 20,000 fired-up fans, most of them wearing CM Punk gear and chanting his name like he was some kind of legend sent from above. But hold on, is that even fair? Finn Balor, the Irish warrior who has fought through every obstacle imaginable to reach this moment, steps into that ring as the challenger for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was no ordinary match. This was a battle built to rewrite rivalries. And what did we get? A finish so controversial, it sent the entire internet wrestling community into a full meltdown. Let me walk you through it. The bell sounds, and these two warriors come face to face. Balor comes out sharp, using his quickness and agility to stay one step ahead of Punk's rougher Street Fighter style. Drop kicks landing clean, enzwiris connecting hard, Balor is absolutely on fire. Even the Chicago crowd, as one-sided as they were, had to show some love with those "This is awesome" chants. But Punk, crafty as ever, weathers every storm and slowly takes control with punishing knee strikes and sharp elbow shots. It goes back and forth, a true masterclass in professional wrestling. Until it happens. The one moment that's had everyone talking ever since. About 15 minutes in, Balor lands his signature coup de grace from the top rope. The impact shakes the entire arena, and the referee slides in for the count. 1, 2, and Punk's shoulder flies up at the very last breath. The crowd erupts, but wait, the replay clearly shows Punk's foot was resting under the rope. Shouldn't that have stopped the count right there? The referee either didn't catch it or chose not to act, and conspiracy theories are already spreading like wildfire, with people saying the official was pressured by the energy of the hometown crowd. This is unacceptable. Balor, clearly losing his composure, turns to argue with the referee. And that's exactly when Punk takes advantage with a low blow that the camera barely picks up. Come on, WWE, are we really supposed to look the other way? This isn't a competition anymore. This is daylight robbery. As the match pushes forward, both men are worn down and running on heart alone. Blood slowly traces down Balor's forehead after a rough exchange on the ring apron. Punk's knee seems to be giving him trouble after an earlier figure 4 attempt. The weight of the moment fills every inch of that arena. You could feel the tension from miles away. Then, in a moment that will be talked about for years to come, Balor sets up for another finisher, but Punk spins out of it and lands the go-to-sleep. One knee to the gut, hoisted up, and brought down hard. The pin. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk retains. The Chicago crowd loses their minds. Confetti fills the air, but Finn Balor lies flat on his back, staring up at the lights, defeated not just in body, but by a system that seemed to have already decided the outcome. Look at this image right here. CM Punk lifting that championship high with a smirk like he never had a single doubt, while Balor's dream crumbles right there on the canvas. Does that stir something in you? It should. This isn't just a defeat. It's a message that the favorites will always be protected, while the ones who grind the hardest get pushed aside. But here's the angle that I think makes this story even more explosive. Sources close to the locker room are quietly saying that this was never the planned finish. The word going around is that Balor was originally set to win clean, but at the last minute, possibly because of Punk's star power or fear of how Chicago might react, the script was completely flipped. Is it confirmed? We're still digging.
But if it's true, it's a slap across the face to every wrestler pouring their soul into this business without a spotlight behind them. Now, let's step back for a moment and explain how we even got to this match. CM Punk's return to WWE has been nothing short of extraordinary. After years away, carrying old wounds and building his story in AEW, he shocked the entire world at Survivor Series by walking through that curtain to the unmistakable sound of Cult of Personality. From that moment, he has been on a roll, capturing the World Heavyweight title from Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. His promos have been absolute fire, taking aim at everyone from Roman Reigns to the younger generation, building himself as the complicated anti-hero that fans either passionately love or passionately despise. On the other side, Finn Balor has been the living definition of resilience. From his days as Prince Devitt and New Japan Pro Wrestling, all the way to becoming the very first Universal Champion, a title he had to give back the very next morning due to injury, Balor's story is filled with near victories and painful comebacks. His role leading the Judgment Day gave his character a sharp new edge, but championship goal has continued to slip through his fingers. This title shot was supposed to be the moment that finally sealed his legacy. The build-up was electric, weeks of intense vignettes showing Balor's demon side, Punk's dismissive interviews calling him yesterday's news. The anticipation was as real as it gets, and the result? Heartbreaking for anyone who wasn't already wearing a Punk t-shirt. But the frustration doesn't end when the final bell rings. After the match, as Punk soaks in the celebration, Balor seizes the microphone and delivers words that have already taken over social media. This isn't over, Punk. You needed the referees, the crowd, the whole city of Chicago just to beat me. Come WrestleMania, I'll make you regret every second of tonight. The message is loud and clear. A rematch is on the horizon. WWE hasn't made anything official just yet, but the foundation is already being laid. Picture it, WrestleMania, the biggest stage in the sport, Punk versus Balor in round 2, perhaps under a brutal stipulation like no holds barred, or even back inside the Elimination Chamber. The possibilities are wide open, but the real question is, will it be enough to correct what happened in Chicago? Let's talk about the fan reaction, because that's where the real emotion lives. Social media is on fire. Twitter or X, whatever you call it now, is drowning in the hashtag Justice for Balor. One fan posted, CM Punk retains? More like CM cheat. This whole thing was set up. Another wrote, Balor deserved so much better. Moments like this remind you why people are switching over to AEW. Even people outside the wrestling world are chiming in. Rapper Ice Cube dropped a post saying what most of us were already thinking. That was wrong on every level. Balor got completely screwed. Of course, Punk's loyal fan base is pushing right back. Hometown hero does what he does best. Deal with it. This divide is exactly what wrestling lives on. Everyone's picking a side, and nobody's staying quiet. Now let's pour even more fuel on this fire and talk about what might be coming. If that rematch happens at WrestleMania, what kind of chaos could we expect? Maybe the Judgment Day shows up and turns the whole thing into a faction war. Perhaps someone like Drew McIntyre or LA Knight steps into the mix, turning it into a three-way fight? Here's my unique angle on it. What if this entire situation pushes Balor to go even darker, fully surrendering himself to the demon, but with a completely new and more terrifying edge? Maybe even a surprising alignment with some kind of supernatural return, something along the lines of what Bray Wyatt once represented. It fits everything about Balor's character and could elevate this rivalry into something truly legendary. Let's break the match down even further, because every detail matters. The opening exchange was everything you'd want from two seasoned pros. Collar and elbow lockup, Balor works into a wrist lock, Punk reverses it into a hammerlock, Balor flips clean out of it and lands a Pele kick. The crowd lights up. Punk plays it smart, rolling to the floor to reset his mind and buy some time. That's when the psychological warfare kicks in. Punk reaches out and grabs a fan sign that reads Balor sucks and waves it at the crowd, turning those cheers into boos from the more neutral fans. Balor responds by launching himself over the ropes with a tope con hilo, taking Punk clean out on the floor, the single biggest moment of the night. Back inside the ring, the strikes get heavier. Punk's Muay Thai knees land with serious force, but Balor absorbs every shot and answers with sharp European uppercuts. A suplex exchange breaks out. Balor with a German, Punk with the Northern Lights, both men bridging for pin attempts but only getting 2 counts. The speed increases. Balor goes for the sling blade, but Punk ducks it and connects with a shining wizard. Near fall. And now the exhaustion starts to show. Both men catching their breath, sweat covering every inch of them. The standout moment from the middle of the match, Balor locks in a modified Dragon Sleeper submission, tightening the grip with everything he has. Punk strains and reaches desperately for the ropes, finds them, but Balor drags him right back to the center. The referee gives a warning, but the hold stays on. Punk digs deep and forces his way out, landing a controversial piledriver move that draws instant gasps. Balor sells the neck damage convincingly, and that storytelling sets the stage perfectly for the finish that was coming. The final stretch is where the frustration boils over completely. Balor surges back with back-to-back shotgun dropkicks, scales the ropes for the coup de grace, leaps, and lands it perfectly. Cover 1, 2, and Punk kicks out. Balor can't believe it. He turns to question the referee, and Punk catches him with a quick roll-up. Reversed by Balor, but Punk kicks out again. Then comes that low blow, quiet, calculated, and captured only by the hard camera. Punk follows it immediately with the Anaconda Vice, squeezing the life out of Balor, who refuses to tap. He claws his way free, but Punk is already moving. GTS loaded, delivered, done. It's over. The reason this leaves such a bitter taste is simple. Balor had multiple real opportunities to walk out